if you guys ready, we can start with our first stream in Перерва студія. Hello everyone. Добрий день, студія. And yeah, we're going to talk today about drones. And here's Clemens Pool and Igor, and they work with drones as a musical genre. And as you know, or may not know, on 25th of May there's going to be the Day of Drones, and maybe you can tell me more about it, because I think it was, as far as I'm concerned, it was your idea to create this kind of event around the drones that will happen on the 25th, 26th, and maybe 24th.
Should I just talk into that, or should I talk into
What?
But
Talking to this or?
no, it's just like for the room.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like for
Okay. Yeah. So we have been running a project called Drones for Drones for several months, I guess almost a year. I've been working on this, and in preparation for the release of the third Drones for Drones volume, I was researching other drones initiatives. By research, I mean the most pathetic kind of research where you just like Google something and like barely read each page that turns up. But in this sad kind of research, I discovered that Weird Canada organizes a thing called International Drone Day at the end of May each year. I think they've been doing it for more than 10 years. And they have a massive list of people who play drone music on this one day at the end of May. And I reached out to the people who create the website that lists all the events. And I reached out to everyone I could contact on the list of people who had played in 2023. And with Pererva Studio and Ceramic Beats, we started to talk about doing a drone event on that day that would be our own event, but would be as part of this bigger international drone day.
This is a very fulfilling answer. Thank you very much. As should we talk Ukrainian or English? Тоді, як я зрозуміла, ви з Клеменсом маєте свій проєкт, який називається Ministry of Digital Transformation. І це ваш проєкт, який ви почали нещодавно. Чи давно?
Так, ми почали його нещодавно. Це Клеменс, ми зустрілися, і він каже, давай. Да, якраз тут на Ceramic Beats ми грали. Що це був за івент? Це Drones for Drones. Так, це була презентація першої касети, першого релізу лейблу Pastance Records. Drones for Drones Volume 1. І тоді ми грали разом і вирішили, що будемо робити свій проєкт, тому що ми обидва граємо щось схоже між собою, і це дуже мечилося, і по звучанню, і подумали, що це буде зрідно. Тому так, вирішили грати, зібралися у мене на моїй домашній студії скромній, і там записали перший матеріал, дуже потужний, насправді, без перебільшення. Він буде видаватися на касетах, це в планах. Поки це чисто WAV-файл 2-годинний. І це буде реліз на 2 касетах.
Ми чули десь 2 години і
Дійсно, так.
ідеально.
Тому що так, ми подивилися з 2 годин записаного матеріалу, Там майже немає що вирізати. Ми будемо використовувати все, що перформати є. У дуже цікавих локаціях. Я думаю, всім сподобається. Ну і всі будуть здивовані. Тому що такого в нас ще не було. 100%. Тому це буде трошки такий психогеографічний челендж з елементами з нойза. Подивимось. Коротше, буде приємно.
Дуже дякую вашому проекту, тому що він дуже цікавий, і якщо там буде і десь нойз, і є графічний сайкл, і вже хорор something mesh, це дуже круто. Це вже доволі класно, і я думаю, що я думаю, ще запитати трошечки про те, що ви до цього теж робили іншу музику, you did like different music before. It was, as you said, you were previously like playing in the bands, and you were, а ти, Ігор, ти теж грав до цього музику, але це був трошки інший проект. Чи Black metal, ага. And what you were playing before? Maybe може ви розкажете про ці. Maybe you can tell about like to this. Yeah, like.
Yeah. So when I started working in Ukraine, I was working through an art foundation. So most of my projects were focused on I guess visual art sphere, but before I was I guess working professionally in the art sphere, I spent a number of years playing in kind of like shitty DIY bands, and I organized some tours in the U.S. and this kind of I don't know, not really punk scene, but when I was a teenager, we organized a bunch of punk shows in my town, and then I got into metal and I played in some metal bands, and then was doing my own stuff, like I don't know,
So you
playing in like
experimental background.
yeah some
And drone is more experimental, like electronic music.
yeah. Well, I guess that's the
Because I don't
big
know, so.
change for me was I I say okay.
Я думала, що його не можна брати. We thought that we can't touch this microphone, but sorry, we have two microphones now. It's a great number of microphones.
Yeah, I would say I played more like traditional instrument stuff, so like whatever, bass guitar, mandolin. I don't know, and actually octave mandolin. The last like real band I was in was 10 years ago already, and it was a like medieval.
Hip hop.
No, not hip hop. Like medieval. I don't know. It's like we would take songs that were like from the 11th century and turn them into like acoustic prog rock, and we would play naked at noise shows. It was sick. I totally love this band, but it was definitely a different thing. And yeah, I think as I started to, I guess, travel more and like move around more, I moved towards electronic music because it's like kind of more portable, and I was writing some like synth pop space opera for several years, and
Space opera.
yeah.
This is a nice project.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's cool, but
Like Space Odyssey, but with synths.
yeah. But it was so yeah. Then I guess I would say, and maybe this is actually something we should talk about in the next kind of question segment. But I think the real transition happened after the full scale invasion. And even though I was always into noise, and I kind of grew up close to this noise scene in Providence, Rhode Island, which was pretty famous in the like early 2000s. I didn't play in bands like that, and so it was kind of after the invasion that the relevance of noise. We have the air raid siren. But yeah, that this started to become really relevant.
are we going to? I
Okay.
don't think. But we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna stop. We're like not in McDonald's to
Yeah.
stop doing this. Because I was today there and they were like, no, go away.
Yeah, I know my roommate was working in Pinchuk Art Center and like using it as her studio, and every time they had it, she had to like go just walk around.
Actually,
Just kinda-
as responsible citizens, we're supposed to stop the
Okay.
activities now and
How many people are watching our live
yeah,
stream?
actually have right here.
But maybe we can vote. Like, I don't know. I'm fine.
It's
with,
not
Is it-
realistic stream
yeah, we.
Yeah.
because we are
Wait, how many people are watching the stream?
I don't know. It's like Vlad definitely knows how many people are watching.
Vlad, how many people are watching our stream?
I think 5.
And it's all of us. We just all have our phones.
Definitely 5. My wow,
10.
10
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Well, if any of the 10 people are not in Ukraine, what's happening is a air raid siren, and if you are doing anything in an official capacity, you technically should go to a bomb shelter. But in general, people have become pretty relaxed about it. I don't know if it's good or bad. So very often people keep talking about stuff
Yeah,
in
well,
interviews.
Space
So
Odyssey
I don't know what.
Well, it's a different graph
Yes. Yes.
from the side.
Yes. Commentary.
Maybe it's not about relaxation, but the air alarms also are so often that we have to make a break in our activities all the time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we cannot make the process because of that. So it's not only about relaxation. But
Yeah. Yeah.
people are now.
Yeah, I think the thing that's important to understand is it's not that people are like, it's not that people feel good about it, but it's just people are trying to
People at
do.
McDonald's today were pretty happy about this. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know about the people. I don't go to McDonald's, so I don't know. But I think also like for example the blackouts, which might cause a problem for this stream, right? Or do we have a plan for that?
I don't know,
Theoretically,
you
there.
guys have generator. It's like
Theoretically, there can also be a blackout. So
Yeah.
this stream,
yeah, Kyiv is full of blackouts
Yeah.
right now.
but all of that stuff, I think it seems that people just need to do the stuff that they are trying to do because that's how you stay sane. So
yeah, it's part
yeah.
of PTSD you have. Okay, let's come back to the interview we have here about drones as music. Maybe, Ігор, може ти розповіш тепер більше про свій бекграунд як музиканта до того, як ти почав займатися дрон-музикою?
Да, от цікаво Клєвенса було слухати. Дуже прикольний, цікавий бекграунд.
Please.
Да.
And Space Odyssey, like, yeah. Sorry, not Odyssey, it was something else. Space Opera? Nice.
Yes, it sounds
Oh,
like
thank you.
crazy shit. It's really deep underground American tradition. No?
Underground
Because-
is on my
Ну, я почав грати музику десь у 17 років, тобто 19 років назад, десь так. Вже от
Це
майже.
скільки тобі?
Мені
Я погано рахую.
36.
36, я думаю, 32.
Ні,
Ну, порахувала погано.
Да.
36.
І я купив гітару на той момент Core M200. Це була досить така, ну, не найдешевша, але далеко не топова гітара. Але мені було достатньо, вона була дуже важка, з червоного дерева. І ну, більшість сучасних нормальних гітар, вони набагато легші. Але мені цього було достатньо. Я брав, грав просто в комп'ютер, у Fruity Loops я накидував через EZ Drummer барабани і грав One Man Project. Це був Depressive Black Metal Project.
Як Tame Impala виходить?
Ну, а Тем Імпала, там він одна людина,
Ну,
да,
це
робить?
шутка,
А
да,
він
це
бере
було.
сам цих сесіонщиків, типу, на концерти.
Ні,
Ну, бо
не
це ж,
знаю.
типу, реально розповсюджена
Ну,
традиція.
да.
Да? Ну, так, ну, особливо серед, типу, якраз всякого там блек-метала. Ти сам особливо серед Suicidal, ну, ДСБМ. Ось весь ДСБМ, там він, ну, дуже багато людей, які самі грали. І я думаю, що це переважно через ментальні проблеми, типу, ну, цієї людини, яка бере таку ініціативу на себе. От, ну,
Як
ну,
borderline personality, типу, чи?
ну, for example.
Угу.
І ну, мені не хотілося вступати в інтеракцію з кимось, хотілося самому все робити. Ну так завжди насправді було до нещодавніх пір. А так, я почав грати, видавати релізи, шерити їх по всяким паблікам, і в мене з'явилася аудиторія. З'явилися люди, які хотіли, щоб я видавав це фізично на носіях різних, на касетах, на CD. І так почалося моє таке музичне, скажімо, таке моя творчість, така вже більш професійна, музична, у групах різних. У нас була дуже така у свій час відома в дуже вузькому колі група Старий Київ. Це рав black metal. Дуже такий, ну, дуже рав. Ми записували на 5S iPhone репетиції, потім видавали демки. І, ну і по суті не тільки демки, а навіть лонгплеї ми так само записували. Ну, і мене дуже дивувало, що це хтось купляє. Тобто ми видавали, типу, самі там друкували там А4 на лазерному принтері обложки, там їх оформлювали, якось там ці диски покупляли. І відправляли всюди, типу, де люди от бачили, там такі, ну, цікавились цим. І якось, ну, мені це завжди було дивно, бо це реально звучало як, ну, поле дерьмо.
Ну, у Львові зараз була, чи є виставка, мабуть, була вже виставка, яку робив Назар Шишрак від Амнезії, і вони якраз досліджували український андеграунд. І я пам'ятаю, там була секція блек-металу, ну, і різної такої музики, і там багато було CD, я думаю, нічого собі, вони прям познали. Це була ціла така андеграундна сцена, я пам'ятаю.
Просто ще це були часи, коли ми ж всі з росіянами спілкувалися, і, ну, не без гріха у мене були спліти з російськими проєктами подібними. І навіть чувак в Росії, в Рашці є, який написав, я точно пам'ятаю, що одну книгу він точно видав саме про андеграундний блек-метал сцену Росії, Білорусі і України. І це досить така фундаментальна книжка. Ну, але знову ж таки, видана вона в Росії, тому пішли вони нахуй. Нам треба свою таку книжку робити. І це було б реально прикольно.
До речі, да.
Ну, да, бо до нас приїжджають гості, да, з інших країн, приїжджають люди, от журналісти, от твій друг, ну, знайомий, якого ти вчора приводив на перерву, це він з Англії, правильно? Да?
Так,
цей
і він зараз презентує свої книжки там, склад 17B. Якщо ти не тут, ти там.
Да, і це так мене здивувало, те, що чувак видав, я навіть про це не чув, він видав отаку книжку і створив Various Artists компіляцію з 86, якщо не помиляюся, артистів наших, які грають саме якусь експериментальну музику.
Прикольно.
Да, і про це ніхто не чув, і скоріше і не, ну, це не буде розходитися в широкій масі. Тому що дуже дорога пошта, доставка.
Ну да, пересилка, делівері дуже дорога, особливо з Британії.
Він видав у Польщі видав тираж цей, і там 100 копій, здається.
Так, небагато.
Ну, і я думаю, що вони розійдуться просто по тим, хто є, типу, у цій книзі. Але це не фініш, він буде видавати ще одну, типу, таку штуку.
Хрестоматію.
Да. І я до чого це кажу, тому що Я бачу, як іноземці це роблять, да? Ну, і зі своєю там, да, рефлексією, яка у них є, да? Вони підходять до цього питання. І хотілося б тут теж щось таке зробити. Це було б дуже круто. Я не впевнений, що я потягну по своїм, да, ну, ресурсам це, і ну, мене не вистачить ініціативи, да, таке створити. Але типу дуже було б прикольно, якщо б
Амнезія вже має такий ресерч. Вони ж видали його на базі ну, ця виставка на базі Львівського муніципального центру. Тобто в них вже є цей ресерч.
О, це
Можна
дуже
з ними,
круто.
типу, в цьому плані поспівпрацювати, просто об'єднати, наприклад, його чи щось таке. Тому люди цим вже займаються. Просто треба ініціатива, яка би цим зацікавилась, і спонсор.
Да,
Я
да.
думаю, що
Хороший.
це виставка була дуже класна. І
Have you been?
я думав, що буде класно як книжка.
Та, дуже гарно.
Просто була.
Да. Тому от повертаючись до теми музики, да, ну, ви і так в ній, але типу, от конкретно тим, чим я займався, то Black Metal я навіть і зараз не проти пограти. То що в електронну музику я прийшов ну, не так давно, десь у році у 16-му, може 17-му. А от саме, типу, саме з того, що я почав там робити сам синтезатори, бо було дорого купляти, я почав їх сам робити, але це вже інше питання. А так, ну от, але інструментальну музику. Клеменс, давай делать Black Metal проект.
Я хочу.
Да?
Я
Ти
вже,
що?
я вже
ти шариш?
розмовляв з Лією про це. Я хочу. Вона теж грала в Black Metal проєкт.
А, ніхуя.
Так.
Клас. Ну,
Давай.
прикольно, да, бо це
Пробуємо.
такий,
Зараз.
мені здається,
У нас є гітари.
да,
бас,
до речі, так,
дrum
100%.
machine, це все.
Да.
No, I also think that it's a nice shift from like electronic music because right now everybody are into noise, and maybe that's another question why noise is so popular right now because everybody are playing it. It become like so not underground. It become I think that noise started to be kind of pop music in Kiev. It's just like
Ну, я за.
no, I'm not against. I'm not against. I'm also really in fond of noise, but it's kind of it started to be really pop. Everybody knows about noise because before, like 2-3 years ago, you said something about like people playing noise and like people were looking at you like you listen to this like I don't know Eric Saw who is like having a saw and you listen to the man who is like having a saw and that's his album. Oh, there was like another I don't remember like Valentin. He was also
Валік,
yeah.
да. Ротова порожнина Records.
Yeah. And also there were like
Full Logic Control.
not everybody knew about noise in the past, but now noise is everywhere, which is nice for noise. But I don't know. I'm kind of into instrumental music right now. I guess like kind of I don't know. I started to like it more because like I start to get like a little bit like tired of noise because I start to listen it like super a lot, and it stopped to be unique like kind of thing for me. But it's my experience.
I think this is super interesting though, and I like I said, when I was growing up, I grew up in southeastern Connecticut in the U.S., and the closest city to me was Providence, which in the 2000s, or like late 90s, 2000s, was this place that also had this like noise scene that blew up, and the famous bands like Lightning Bolt or Black Dice or Daughters or like all of these kind of bands were pretty present for me at that time, even though I was like, I guess I wasn't going there. It kind of was happening in parallel, but still, when this noise scene in Kiev started to be apparent to me, I'm also I don't want to say that I can judge how popular it's gotten. Like I think you'd be a better judge of that. For me, it seems like it's kind of blowing up also, which is really cool. Yeah, blowing up is maybe the wrong term for this place and time, but blooming, blossoming, the blossoming noise scene.
Schema right
Yeah.
now, like last schema had like so like John Object
Yeah.
they used to be like super underground, and now all the normies know about
All,
it.
Well,
no,
well, this is the thing that I observed when I started Kiev Pastrans. I started it a year and a half ago with another artist, Leo Torosenko, who is now living in Vienna. But uh, when we started it, I wouldn't say that we knew that much about this like deeper history of noise here, but uh, when I started to do the drones for drones stuff, I started to research more of like who is doing this kind of drone music or this kind of abstract music, and it's not just noise, but there's a lot of like ambient projects and different things. And when I started to make drones for drones and Kiev Pastran's records became a bit visible in this scene, all these venues started to message the Instagram account. Even in some cases, like people who know me didn't know that I was the one behind Kiev Pastran's records. So they would message this account and they'd be like, hey, you guys are doing like this, like, you know, drone noise shit. Do you want to like do a night at our club? Because like right now we just have this like shit like programmed, and we want to get like we want to like branch out. We want to have the more experimental stuff. And in several venues in Kiev reached out to me, which I was like really flattered. I was like, I'm just, you know, like some guy. But the reason I relay this anecdote is it said to me that the people who are programming shows and like programming like the clubs right now have this real interest in noise. And I think this has been really,
I have a question.
yeah.
I just have a question, because do you think it's connected to the state that we have like a full-scale invasion right now, and a lot of us hear like missile explosions on a daily basis, depending on the where you live. But basically, in Lviv, for example, there are also a noise scene, and it's created by people from Kharkiv who were like in the beginning of full-scale invasion in Kharkiv, and they were listening a lot of this. This is my theory right now. I'm not saying that it's true, but the fact is that right now people start to listen this kind of hard, loud, explosive, not like I don't know, like how does not phonetic, but
Aesthetic or something.
no, it's like, you know, this like musical tonalist, like
Like harmonic or
yeah,
melodic
yeah.
or something.
It's like
yeah.
people used to listen more like I don't know harmonious things in the past, but now because of the full-scale invasion and listening these loud noises on the daily basis, maybe people start to relate themselves more with this kind of music.
I mean, this absolutely is something that has occurred to me. I'm not a sociologist or like whatever kind of expert I would need to be to make that claim,
Me
but
too.
I absolutely feel that there is a correlation between the embrace of aharmonic, non-rhythmic, abstract music and the like state of war that Ukraine is in, and all of the not just the sonic reality of that state of war, but also just things like the blackouts, right? And for me, when Leo and I started Kiev Pastrans, it actually was during this blackout period at the end of 2022. And I remember really specifically thinking about this problem because I was at the time working as an editor for this publication for Ukrainian artists and writers. And it was like, you know, all my activity was in this really activist capacity. But I found that I would, when there was no power, I would hotspot my phone and work on my computer and edit these texts that were, you know, like text for a foreign audience to do this kind of anti-West-splaining agenda for this, you know, publication. And then the power would come back on, and I would be like, ooh, I can like play guitar for a little bit, like, ooh, cool. And so I would do this when we had electricity, and I thought like, this is actually fucked up because it's like the inversion of like the way you should be using this resource. And so I started to think like, why am I going towards this abstract sound? Why am I chasing this thing that is like really fundamentally useless? And then when there's no power, I'm like doing this thing that is very much, or at least as I perceived it, part of maybe not the war effort, but like the cultural effort, like the cultural diplomacy that I feel is still
Constructive.
necessary. But like this thing, like I'm doing this activist activity when there's no power, and as soon as the power comes back on, I'm doing something totally fucking pointless and awful. And but I think what this is my theory on this. The pursuit of this like deeper and deeper abstraction may be related to the idea that everything that has utility is captured by the war. Everything that you used to do, you're like a conceptual artist, all the shit that you used to make, you can't make anymore. You have to make shit about the war because it's the thing that's going on. It's the most important thing. And everything that you consciously do, you need to put towards fixing that situation.
Or spreading the word about this situation.
Yeah, like any activist capacity or fundraising capacity, all of this stuff becomes super important. But you still have this, if you're an artistic person, you still have this creative desire to free yourself from shit like that. And so the pursuit of abstraction is actually you kind of like coping with this problem that has presented itself to you. And it also, I mean, it made me think of this like it's not really a conspiracy theory, but like the idea that the CIA was backing all of these abstract expressionists in the 1950s, right? Like maybe some people know about this.
No,
But-
I don't, but I like a good conspiracy theory, so please.
So it's like kind of not a conspiracy theory, like the I think it's the OSS it was called, was like the pre-CIA the American this is funny because like I'm American and I'm like in Ukraine and people are like, who are you, a fucking CIA agent? And I'm like, funny, this is all connected, but yeah, I would be dressed better if I was a fucking CIA agent, but
Here are looking like CIA agents. Sometimes you go to
Oh,
the
God.
bar and they're like American people and they're like looking like they're definitely here not to drink beer.
yeah, I mean, they're here. Like, I don't know who they are, but they're around for sure. But anyway, the point is the OSS is somehow like really connected with MoMA's board, like in the formation of the Museum of Modern Art in New York. And like, there's a lot of this conspiratorial kind of connection, but really there was this like cultural agenda, or at least, I mean, I don't know, I can't like point to the book, so I guess I'm just this person who is like Joe Rogan style talking about some shit that I heard once and like the whole world hears it and then all 10 people listening to us. I'm sorry. This is like
half of these people are our phones.
yeah, but no, but there was this idea that in order to counter the Soviet agenda of socialist realism, or like this Soviet creative vision of socialist realism, the U.S. backed abstract expressionism specifically because it was this individualistic idea of creative expression, which is or they saw it as the opposite of the socialist realist idea of creative expression. And so when I was thinking about noise as this really abstract thing, or like the pointlessness of it, the pointlessness of it is that it's so individualistic that it can't be captured by anything else. Like you can't make your sick noise album and raise money for like, you know, something because nobody wants to hear your shit. But you're making that shit because it can't be captured. Now this, I think the like Drones for Drones project that I came to later was actually me trying to process that question and being like, okay, if I'm just making this garbage that nobody wants in order to free myself from the necessity to make stuff that like helps support this war effort, then how can I actually make some, you know, abstract garbage that people will want? And then that's when I started to work with this Drones for Drones. Sorry, that was fucking
No,
super
it's a-
long
No,
tangent.
no, it was great, and it wasn't mansplaining at all. It was a great.
It wasn't mansplaining at all. Don't worry. Wait, can I? No.
No, it was great, and yeah, I think that we have all of us have this idea right now because noise is everywhere. It's like Lviv is also have a small scene there. Kiev has a huge scene. Even today there is a noise event, and sometimes
Every Wednesday.
every Wednesday
It's
there is a
fucking
noise.
awesome.
Yeah, I
Shout
love it.
out.
Yeah, to
Noise Show Saturday.
Yeah, amazing.
You guys are doing God's work. I love you.
Yeah, they're so great. Today Demyan is playing, by the way.
Demyan
One of
is
my
playing.
favorite
Go.
dungeon scene.
Yes.
Yeah, I love dungeon scene, and Demyan is I don't know.
But this is the thing. Every Wednesday in Kiev, there is a noise show at a cool club, and it's
Yeah.
fucking full of people. Every Wednesday, these shows are full, and this is like the evidence that like people
Need this.
are responding to this kind of music in a really different way than they used to.
Yeah, because before it wasn't that popular before.
Давайте, спасибо. Дайте мені свої мікрофони. Ні, я...
No, it's fine.
Ти казала просто.
It wasn't that popular before, like even like 2-3 years ago. Like I don't think that I was in a couple of venues just before the war in Lviv. It was like Subscam and some like Valentin did a tour with some kind of guy. I don't remember. There was like one dude with long hair, and he also did some like I don't know 50 minutes album, which I don't know. He was using some kind of also I don't know some working tool.
Ти кажеш про Малад?
Малад, yeah.
Да.
And that точно. І at that time it was just like dude who was working, I don't remember, with some building tool. Чимось там він.
А звідки він? Хто? Він з наших? Хтось з Києва? Хтось?
Ну, там був такий з довгим волоссям чувак, і він грав якусь, він щось на полу валявся, як Ерік Соус з цією пілою, типу, але
Ага.
це було щось інше таке. І він так 15 хвилин пограв, і це було все, я думаю, який хороший вообще альбом у нього інтересний.
Тут дуже важливий момент, от вже, да, ви так глибоко затронули, да, от і Клеменс дуже глибоко пояснив оці самі коріння, да, от актуальності шумової музики на сьогоднішній день у даній частині простору. Я б додав просто тут один момент, що мені здається, що треба все ж таки диференціювати, що саме це за музика. Тому що казати про все, да, що там дрон чи нойз, це не зовсім правильно, і тому що ми бачимо навіть, да, ну, там Дем'яна ми тільки що затронули, да, там, чи Подать, да, хто у нас зараз часто грає, там Еміль, там всім респект, кого тільки що я перечислив, якщо хтось дивиться, чи буде потім дивитися, я вас люблю. Подивляться. Я їм не подивлюся, так що подивилися всі. Що, типу, це все ж таки частіше за все не нойз. Це не має ніякого відношення до нойз музики. Це якась експериментальна музика з елементами нойзу. Навіть я граю, ну, по суті, це схоже на нойз. Це нойз, окей, ну це нойз, але це не той... Була школа, да, така у Україні, да, така безкомпромісна школа, да, їх, ну, течія, по суті, перша течія, кінець 90-х, це Квітну Рекордс, це Котра. Окей, мені зараз скажуть всі, що а як же Цукор Біла Смерть, і їх експериментальні роботи, які були ще раніше, ніж Котра зі своїм Квітну. Я згоден, дійсно, це була нойзова музика, це був нойз. Це можна сказати, що перший український нойз взагалі, да? Ну, за часів незалежної України. Що там до того відбувалося, насправді теж там були цікаві речі. Але я беру все ж таки за точку відліку от нойз музики кінець 90-х, якраз ту добу, коли почала утворюватись оця, ну, вже потім ефіровська тусовка. І оце це дійсно був нойз. Да? Це була шумова сцена, якісно виражена, да, про яку можна було сказати, що це саме що це саме нойз. Потім друга хвиля, я для себе її так. Це знову ж таки, це суто моя думка. Я не, це моє спостереження, це не є теж якась. Да, я не музикальний критик і не історик музики. Я музикант, який просто трошечки теж там, спілкується з усіма цими людьми, про яких я зараз кажу. То друга течія, це вже така більш оця молода, там був Валік, і оця двіжуха з Кащеєм, яка була пов'язана. Рома Банан, да, і ці What His Face, і оці всі нойз-вечори, і в нойз-фестивалі, і які проходили там десь з 8-10 року. Там пік був десь, мабуть, рік 12-14. І це був насправді конфлікт певний між оцією новою хвилею і тими чуваками, які робили це в кінці 90-х, 2000-х. Тому що був дуже такий скандальний прецедент у Пінчук арт-центрі, коли у Пінчук покликали Валіка, Рому, ще когось, я не пам'ятаю, читати лекцію про нойз, і трошки перформити. Я точно не пам'ятаю, який це рік, не пам'ятаю. Це може... Це після 14-го. Мені здається, що це після революції, було. Це після революції вже. І дуже оцей весь їх перформанс Пінчуку розкритикував Котра, який на той момент вже не знаходився на території України. Він зараз живе, я не знаю, в Німеччині, мені здається. Тоді він, наче, в Чехії був.
Котра щось знайоме, хто це?
Котра – це якраз засновник Квітно Рекордс. Це якраз оця, можна сказати, така стара школа нової хвилі. Я так це можу якось охарактеризувати. І, чесно кажучи, в чому був конфлікт основний, те, що ви молоді нічого не шарите, а ми діди. Знаєте, цей класичний дискурс, старих пердунів, які, вже забули про них всі забули вже, але вони дуже переймаються цим. Насправді, я не вважаю, що про Котру, хтось у нас забув, може хтось не пам'ятав, я вважаю, що це дуже великий вплив був на нашу сцену андеграундну. Але, скажімо так, не без політики. Не без політики у тому плані, що якраз я пам'ятаю, що була основна претензія, що це все ж таки не музика ліваків, не музика анархістів, а це права більше музика. І це те, як я сприймав ці події, знову ж таки. І це не обов'язково є відображенням дійсності, як воно було насправді. Але виглядало це все саме так. Що, от правий нойз, а от, ваш лівий, оцей лівий, нойз. І воно якось так було. Я розумію, це його право, таку думку мати, але, знову ж таки, людина не знаходиться на території України. І те, що тут відбувається в культурному полі, це вже, скажімо так, це вже інший процес, треба на нього. Я дивлюся на це як, на якусь подію, якийсь період. Але тут важко, знову ж таки, неможливо без політики, звичайно. І шумова музика завжди була, такою політично спрямованою. Настільки, максимально, насправді, там навіть, де казали, що це не має ніякого відношення до політики. Тобто саме там вона якраз має ще більше його, я вважаю так. Тому що...
Super interesting question, though, like, is noise necessarily political or is it apolitical? because this like direction that I was thinking about making music that nobody wants to listen to as a way to be free of like a situation where everybody is trying to, or where you have to turn everything into a political gesture. This in itself is also a political gesture, where it's like, yeah, resisting this world of everything being political. But
Ну, я бачу зараз чітку тенденцію на те, що під час війни лишатися аполітичним неможливо. Тому я скажу зараз таку, може, трошки провокативну річ, але ну, ми всі нормально так по привіді. От, і це не є погано. Тобто не треба цього чуратися, боятися і якось від цього типу втікати. Тому, ну, знову ж таки, і звичайно, що це була б зараз, ну, якщо б тут був Рома Банан, да, то ми б зараз про це трошки да, ну, сперечалися. Але, типу, ну, не можна.
Поп-ап-студію у Львові і посперечатися там з ним про це.
Ну так, да, давайте зафрізимо цей момент і згадаємо його вже, типу, от такому в дискусії такій вже, типу, от з ним. Тому що він все ж таки не остання людина на цій сцені, типу, яка представляє і поширює да, таку, в принципі, філософію да, такої музики.
Ну, до речі, про політичність Нойза у Роми був проєкт у Львові, якраз, ну, типу, мені здається, що це було на Radical Sound, на якомусь з них, то він якраз робив свій музикальний перформанс, де він показував відео, як нашого друга Артура забирає ТЦК, і
да.
якраз він робив свій музичний перформанс під це відео, тобто, ну, зараз, мені здається, будь-яка художня діяльність, вона політична, бо ти показуєш себе і свою якусь думку або позицію. Тому, да, можна сказати, що в цьому є своя політична... Можна виражати свою думку через цю діяльність, це правда.
Ну, це так. Але теж тут такий момент, оце якраз у дусі Роми було на обкладинку помістити цю фотографію, де да, з бусом. Я вважаю, це... Ну, я знаю, що це що це з відео, да. Ну, але ну, я кажу саме конкретно про обкладинку, але, типу, але я розумію, що це відео. Просто я чому саме про обкладинку, тому що вона ж представляє цей реліз. Вона ж представляє цю роботу. І те, як вона представляє її, це... Ну, знову ж таки, це спірне питання да, у соціумі зараз. Типу, чи треба показувати да, оцю проблему да, мобілізації, як вона відбувається. Типу, ну, і знову ж таки, ми діячі культури, я не спеціаліст у цій темі, але, типу, звичайно, що я добре розумію, що відбувається. І так освітлювати це, я вважаю, не дуже правильно. З точки зору, типу, ну, процесів, які відбуваються в країні, а саме їбанутої війни, типу, з русньою, і, типу, і наших внутрішніх проблем, а ми тільки їх більше робимо тим, що в медіаполі показуємо, не те, що показуємо ці проблеми, а ракурс, з якого ми їх показуємо. Звичайно, треба говорити про проблеми, але те, як ми про них говоримо, це дуже важливо.
Ну, я думаю, це питання до Банану, і він може
100%.
відповісти.
Тому це теж ми зафризимо, і думаю, цю розмову було б цікаво продовжити.
Yeah, we can actually... Yeah, but I don't think that he's gonna be, like, willing to talk about this.
Ну, ми тут якось отак іншого, да, оцього, як касаємося, да, торкаємося. Але, типу, оце інше, це якраз про цей контекст політики у шумі, да, у шумовій музиці. Бачите, його тут неможливо уникнути. Навіть там, де, типу, людина максимально не політична, анархічна, да? Тобто політична, анархічна. Тобто це ж теж політика, анархія. Ну, це частина цього.
Звичайно.
Да, і тому, да, то, от, ну, а Рома анархіст, тому я на це зараз акцентую увагу. Що це використання такого. Але, типу, в цілому, я не думаю, що нойзу стало більше в Україні. І що перформансів стало більше, але саме от харш нойз від нас поїхав. Да? Валіка нема в Україні. Валік представляв якраз от класичну таку харш нойз сцену. Він грав свій мікшер, типу, схема руху по колу. Да? Схема руху по колу, ну, це ж класика, це просто, ну, це квінтесенція. Ми мали з ним проєкт 190 тисяч померлих. Це теж був безкомпромісний харшнойз. Але він був, от мені дуже подобається експеримент. Мені не подобається лінійність. Мені не цікава лінійність, типу, у стилі. І я бачу, як багато навколо людей зібралося, які якраз цей експеримент проводять зараз в музиці. Але сказати, що це все нойз, знову ж таки, типу, ну, я усагальнююсь завжди. Я кажу, це експериментальна музика з якимись, да, десь характерними акцентами. Да, просто це звучить не так, ну це більш складно звучить, це довше вимовляти. Але, типу, тим не менш, воно більш чітке, а я за чіткість вираження.
Добре, можна сказати, що зараз в Україні, особливо в Києві, і популярна більш експериментальна музика.
Мені здається, так.
Добре,
Да.
добре. Okay, maybe let's come back to the last question because we're talking almost for an hour right now. It's pretty much, and it was like super fast. I think I was super surprised that we were talking like. Are we talking for an hour, Влад? Ми годину говоримо? Подивіться. Скажіть, студія. Yeah, it's like I'm surprised. It's like it was super and so interesting. Yeah, so I thought maybe you can make an announcement of the event because as I understand, it's gonna be from Friday, like midnight till. Can you tell more about it? Yeah.
So yeah, it's the time is a little bit maybe seems a little bit hard to understand, but it makes perfect sense. So.
I told that it was from because Japanese like something.
Well, so when we initially talked about doing a concert, like a live thing here, and there's currently problems, like not everybody feels safe to do a big gathering and this stuff. So we decided to change to focusing on the live stream, and the idea was to have some musicians perform here in Kyiv and some musicians perform in other locations, and we would restream their live streams. So, for example, Roma Banan has organized the lineup for a concert in Lviv, and that will be streamed, and we will stream it on Pererva's YouTube. But when it went to this online idea, and we saw this huge list of different musicians who were supposed to play on May 25th, we started thinking, okay, like, so when do we start? And then I was looking at the time zones, and I realized that actually one date on Earth, like the full date, lasts for 47 hours. Because midnight in the first time zone at the international date line in the first country, which is Kiribati, or I mean that's the one that I know of. So Kiribati is like a small group of islands in the Pacific. So at midnight on May 25th in Kiribati, it will be 3 p.m. on Friday in Kyiv. So we will start at 3 p.m. on Friday in Kyiv, and we will continuously either have people performing here or have live streams from Australia, UK, US, Canada, streamed in at different times, and we'll fill in the gaps between scheduled live performances and live streams from around the world with jams by our team, because everybody here who's in the project is a musician. And we will do this continuously until midnight, or I guess until the last hour of May 25th in the last time zone, which weirdly is American Samoa. This is the country that is in this time zone. So I guess the last country in the
First one.
day. But the weird thing is actually that I recommend everybody look at this because it made my brain melt. But Kiribati is actually, it's actually east of American Samoa. So it's got this little carve out in the international date line so that it can be like, but what I don't get is why it's 47 hours if that seems like it would be one longer. So it seems like it should be 49 hours. I don't understand why, but
Maybe it's a
used-
Kiribati mystery.
yeah, it's like this Kiribati mystery. But actually the even weirder thing is that American Samoa is part of an island chain that is where Samoa is. And Samoa is on the other side of the international date line. So you could theoretically go from American Samoa to Samoa, and you could would you skip a day, or would you? My brain, as you can see, is melting.
It's a tough task.
Anyway, in the end, May 25th,
It's very long.
2024 will last 47 hours, and we will be streaming drones for all 47 hours. And that's the concept.
Yeah, that's a great concept. It's very interesting. Thank you for telling it to me because I didn't know. And yeah, this is great. And thank you for the first stream. Like, you are our first guests, and it's really great. And I think that people who would be willing to see it will see it on the Pererva Studio Ceramic Beats and on the page of Reframe TV as well. And thank you for your time. We will have a break for 10 minutes right now.
And then we performance after.
Yeah, and there will be a discussion after, and then will be performance, a drone performance, not with the device, with the music. Yes. Слава Україні.
Героям слава.
Так, дякую вам, вітаю.
Вітаю.
О, ну так, так швидко час пройшов, реально.
Да, нормально. Я не думала, що ми так будемо говорити. Я думала, що ми зараз будемо.
Клас.
I thought it would be like, hi.
Ні, ну ми ж такі до Кленес на балі, я там люблю навалити, ти любиш, ми всі
це супер.
Ми б сиділи зараз, пізділи тут ще.
Ну, ще година, не.
Ще
годину
зараз.
спокійно
взагалі.
Hi, I don't know if we are still online, but I would like to enter with some historical introduction of drones a little bit. And right now, here in the microphone, I'm streaming, I don't know if you can hear that, the sound of Murchanga. Maybe that's sounds a bit weird, right? And probably that's the oldest drone instrument, I guess. If we don't count the voice, of course. Yeah, that's called Murchanga or Joe harp. In different places in Ukraine it's called drimba, or otherwise vargan. Yeah, drimba is drone. And that's probably the oldest, like they say, it's like more than 5,000 years old. And basically the thing which was present in every cultures. And I think people were always used to drone. Yeah, it's like 5,000 at least.
We could say drone is a tradition.
As long as people are there, they drone, because I guess it's starting from chanting. Like different traditions, like all the thing is the drone. And we can hear it all around the world, basically.
So it's an ancient
Голос
instrument.
ближче до телефону, а телефон дальше. Дякую, Олександр. Гузій. As well, I wanted actually to read one article, a little article from Wikipedia, about drone. It's in Ukrainian, but I will try to translate it. Just maybe someone like don't recognize the difference between drone and noise and don't really know what's about all of these drones.
Yeah, but it's a great comment. Yeah.
Yes, so I'm reading the article, right? Translating on the way. Basically, it's a thick bass, constant sound tone, underlaying from melody, like constant sound tone, most commonly used in vocal and instrumental folk music. That's Wikipedia article. And yeah, I will stop the Morchanga now. Yeah, I wanted you to hear that because there's the example from Ukrainian folk music, because basically Ukrainian traditional singing and polyphonic singing also is based on drones. Like that's what we should know. And here there is a beautiful example from Slobozhanщина, Kharkiv, right? Which is I just discovered this today that originally like they are the most drone-based folk music in Ukraine.
Nice.
So here I just wanted to hear that.
Ой, не так терном, як шепшиною, де ми походимо, тєгникою.
That's purely enchanting.
А я схочу терен висічу, колючу шепшину, припили вигілуменю.
So you said it based on drone, or like it's
Yeah,
like from
meaning like a constant, non-changing rhythmic drone, like Bourdon line, underlying tone. That's the essence of drone, and that's probably the main difference. That's probably the main difference with drones and noises, because like that's the bass, is the tone. That's also present actually in Indian traditional classical music, which is not very known, but that's also pure drone-based music. Maybe I wanted to introduce that actually, but the music I cannot just stop it because it's going on.
Yeah, but it's a
And,
great song. Yeah, and all the time when they're singing some story there, so you start to listen, then you listen to the story.
Yeah. So maybe to add to your words about like why the noise and drone things become so popular, and especially, I don't know, for me and I guess for us as Ukrainians, that's something in our veins, because
In the blood of the
that's
tradition.
something in the blood of the tradition. Yeah, the drones are in the blood.
Yeah, this is a great point. Yeah, it's like finishing everything we said before. Yeah, great. Thank you for that.
So that was my little edit.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
You're also gonna play on 25th
Yeah, right.
on the drones.
Yeah.
Great. So, yeah, we're gonna listen. You can listen to it as well, guys, if you want.
Yeah, I'm
to-
going to perform as Tripilia project, and hopefully, I just got a new instrument that's cello. Cello. and I used to play violin, but I think I have to go a bit heavy, a bit heavier. So I think I can manage to pull some cello drones.
This
time.
is very experimental and interesting. Yeah. And what time you're gonna play here?
That's still really not known because as a part of organization teams, we decided that we will fill the gaps in case because we have a lot of confirmed artists, like more than 40 artists.
Okay, maybe I will just text Clemens and ask him. Okay, thank you so much for. We'll see you in 10 minutes, guys. Сьогодні будемо зараз говорити про дрони, але вже не з точки зору музики і на англійській. Я забула. We're gonna talk, hello studio, we're gonna talk about drones today, and not only as a musical genre, but also as a Ukrainian tactical weapon and defense system that helps army. And today I'm here with two great volunteers from Alyosha from Solidarity Collective and Alexander from organization with no name yet. And yeah, we're gonna talk, and also Ksenia, who is a researcher. She's doing her master's degree about drones as well. So we're gonna talk about the volunteer activity about drones, and I don't know how this affected our life on a daily basis. Hello. Maybe let's start with introduction. I think that not all of us I think that a lot of people don't know that some people who are doing volunteer work right now didn't start from long time ago. For example, maybe you can tell us more how your volunteer activity started and at what time it started. I don't know.
Yeah, our organization, Solidarity Collectives, we started our work after the full-scale invasion, and the focus was to support anti-authoritarian and anarchist fighters who are fighting on the front line. And then we also developed a humanitarian side to our project, and recently, 4 maybe 5 months ago, we started a workshop where we built FPV drones for our fighters who we support.
So what you were doing before the full-scale invasion, and what was your work?
I worked as a service engineer for medical equipment. And I created a cinema club here in Kiev, and that basically was my work.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Alexander. Yeah, and I probably started volunteering at the late 2022. It was my direction of volunteering is creating crowdfunding campaigns. Sometimes they are quite successful. Yeah, and I already done about 15 crowdfunding campaigns. Not all of them were dedicated to drones. Probably the second one. First one was not about the drones. The second one was about the drones already, but it was about the commercial drones. I mean DJI Mavics, DJI Mavic, DJI Mavic 3T, and DJI Mavic Combo. Okay, but right after it, I already had, it was probably the April of 2023, I already had a small crowdfunding campaign. I was collecting for a small amount of FPV drones because at that moment it was not a big scene. A year ago it wasn't that big scene. probably only the militants were acknowledged with this technology. Like everybody already knew about like drones like Bayraktar or like commercial drones like DJIs, but FPV was something new to the
As I understand, it started to be used recently, like not long
not
time
that
ago.
recently, but I think like probably
Ukraine,
it started to gain that popularity probably the previous spring, like the spring of 2023. Like it was the beginning of, I don't know, like of fast rise of this technology. And as I said, like at that moment it was quite hard to find someone who is capable of assembling this gear, and I found two guys. One of them was like a friend of my friend, and we established like connection with him, and like I oftenly ask him for advices, and I already like did some crowdfunding for them, and I'm gonna do it again, but not for details, but for the vehicles. Like it was a car, and now they want to upgrade the car. Yeah, I mean that like a year ago it was something brand new to the common people, and like in a few months it was already like something that everybody was aware of, and like it became a common thing. And like when I was first collecting money to get my first FPVs, I was getting money to get 3 or 4 FPVs. But later, in few months, my other campaign, I managed to get money for 40 or 50 FPVs. So, yeah, the progress and the need of this type of thing was like, how do I put it? Okay, so it became clear that this is some kind of game changer, probably.
Yeah, maybe not everybody knows who are not from Ukrainian context, but right now a lot of Ukrainians who are trying to do something like trying to make a difference in Ukraine, they're making like a fundraiser on their Instagram profiles. Sometimes Sasha, for example, and Solidarity Collective, they arrange big fundraiser raisings, and then they invite people. It can be anyone, and any amount can be collected. And then these people, they create small, like they divide this money for, like, for example, there is needed like 150,000, and it's divided through different people who want to be part of this gathering. And one person can gather 5,000, another person 25,000, and then like it's a collective volunteer work. For example, the work of Sasha, as I know, he creates, he uses different interesting media tactics in order to gain popularity with his gatherings. Because, for example, one of them was with Lord of the Rings, so you could be part of the lore of Lord of the Ring, and a lot of people took part in that because they like the picture. So yeah, maybe you can talk more about like how you are doing this fundraisers, and is it a also we can talk with Ksenia about, like, she's doing her project in drones. Maybe Ksenia, you can tell us more about your research. What is it about? Like, not the conclusions, but like small gist of what you're working on right now.
Yeah, sure. I do more theoretical research, and I'm partially documenting the transformation drone technology is coming through, as well as the surrounding it discourse. And on the other hand, I'm also reflecting on how the technology changes the battlefield conditions, and what cultural and political implications it entails. And I started thinking about drones like from the very beginning of the full-scale invasion, when I had already this kind of bias thinking about drones, the way it was like I don't know, articulated everywhere. Like this whole reflection about this big NATO airplane-like machines, which were associated with the regime of power, terror from above, like some sort of unpunished violence, and all the criticism surrounding drones. And then, like, I started noticing, I think, as well as everyone, like immediately after the full-scale invasion has started, that the tactical deployment of drones in Ukraine and in the Ukrainian context was like completely opposite to what we used to know about drones and to how they used to be utilized and deployed on the battlefield. And yeah, so I'm kind of trying to reflect on what is happening right now. And it's quite hard to make any conclusions because the war is ongoing and the technology is quickly changing. But I think that drones are kind of a key to understanding of what is happening, of all the complexity of the situation and the battlefield in Ukraine. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking with you about term hypervisibility, which is created by drones, as you mentioned in our private interview. Don't know why I said
Yeah, I think that currently, at some point of time, especially when FPV drones entered the battlefield in a very extensive way, they literally have changed the way the combat was conducted, and they started to, I think, shift, the combat on the battlefield, and the amount of drones I think we all see right now, like the level of like circulation of these drones on the battlefield really shows how like visible everything became on the battle space. And this like sort of regime of hypervisibility made battlefield literally transparent. And right now, I think a lot of people involved into the combat and also like those military engineers who are openly commenting on the war, they're saying that war is like starting to go underground because of this like amount of drones there. And yeah, like definitely drones made this battlefield extremely cruel and the combat very brutal comparing to what we knew about drones before when they kind of created, like used to create, if to talk about drones, for instance, in the context of the war on terror, where they created like this sterile environment for the oppressor to kind of impose violence in the asymmetrical warfare. Here we have like a completely different situation.
drones. It's the most digitalized war ever, like war in Ukraine right now. I think because of the usage. May I say that? I don't know. I'm just suggesting, like, but may you say that because of the usage of the drones, and and the one of the purpose is like recording everything. It's like the most recorded war on the like in the life history right now. Could you say that about drones or?
Yeah, I think so. It is definitely also a cyber war. Like we can find a lot of synonyms, I think, for it. But also, I just also try to kind of not like to see this war in some sort of constellation, like also in relation to, for instance, the war in Palestine, because people are also saying right now that, for instance, war in Palestine is also like the most documented genocide that we have ever seen. So probably just our war has started some another, I don't know, like chain of events happening, and yeah, drones are definitely part
Definitely
of
new
this.
war tactics, for instance. Yeah. But also you were,
Yeah.
thank you. Also, you, Rasha, were saying to me that sometimes like the recordings of the drones are not so like patriotic because like they stuff they I don't remember we were talking it was like you said that sometimes like when the somebody wants to see the recordings from the drones, it's just like I don't know, it's like I don't remember what we exactly did you say, but I thought that it's interesting because sometimes the recording from the drone is just like it's like I don't know no, maybe not recording from the drone, but things that people think about drones are different from what drones are actually are for people in military. Maybe something about that. I actually don't remember. That's a great question. I'm sorry. It's my second interview today. I'm very sorry. I'm a horrible interviewer. But maybe you want to share. Maybe thank you, Ksenia, for your input. Also, maybe you could tell us more about what is drones for Ukrainian soldiers right now, or like as I can see from my friends who are soldiers, sometimes they in their stories they're swiping drones. They have the stories where like I want to swipe this drone to this drone. Like if you have the drones, they're already like sometimes exchanging it like in the DMs. I don't know. Are we allowed to say this online? Is it okay to say this? But I think that right now, like with drones, it's like they're more accessible for military. But what is like the role of the drones in like battlefield right now? I don't know. Can you talk more about drones?
Yeah, it depends on what drones are we talking about, and if we are talking about these small FPV drones that which are the hype right now. The point is that they are cheap, and they can be made in a big amount, and they are quite precise as a weapon. Like you can hit a car or a tank or a blindage.
Even a tank that's strong.
And like you can destroy like enemy logistics with quite a small amount of resources. Like on the front line, you constantly need something to be delivered, like food, water, ammunition, and evacuate people and stuff. So you need logistic, and with FPV drones, we basically can cut this logistics, and it works in the both ways. But as one mean of destruction rises, there is also a mean to counter it, and it's constant. It's a process, and right now the mean of destruction is more advanced than compared to a mean of protection. Like there is you can counter drones with radio electronic warfare. When you jam frequencies on which drone receives controls, and then basically you destroyed a weapon. But right now battlefield is very saturated with drones and not so much with electronic warfare. But it's only a question of time, basically. And
when it start to switch to electronic warfare as well?
Sorry?
When it start to switch to electronic warfare as well, like from drones to...
Well, electronic warfare is a mean to counter drones, and like we had electronic warfare before because there was different drones, not FPV drones, bigger. Like Russians have Lancets and Orlans, and electronic warfare also was. It existed before drones. It's just that right now it started to change to counter this specific problem of FPV drones, and people are trying to protect themselves with jammers, electronic warfare, like stuff that you put on a vehicle with antennas, and that it can jam a signal around like in 50 meters, 100 meters, and it depends.
And cut off the drone, like if it's gonna be like...
Yeah, so basically the drone needs to receive a signal, radio signal that person operator is controlling a drone and sending a radio signal to the drone. And with radio electronic warfare, you can jam this frequency on which drone works, and drone just drops.
Okay, so basically, Solidarity Collective, there you are building FPV drones, and also you are like raising money for buying some completation parts for the drones, right?
Yes, and electronic warfare also.
Electronic warfare. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just have no idea. That's why I'm asking so many questions. Yeah, I think that maybe Sasha, what about you? What you and your organization is doing with drones?
I think that my impact can be separated into probably two directions. Like one is when I'm associated with a group of friends of mine who we are like building drones with, and who are like thinking about the further development of our organization. We, as long as we are all quite an adult guys, we grown ups, we we have our daytime job, etc, etc.
So you do it in your free time.
Yeah, and so we are doing it in free time, and to be honest, you can't do too much if you rely only on your free time, because not every day you have your free time, or you can come from the long work and be extremely tired, but the war is not gonna wait till you have that free time. So that's why we are thinking about more establishing more stable process, so we can delegate the process of assembling to someone who is interested in it, and who will be somehow financially motivated from our side. He will receive some certain amount of money for.
So we want to establish
Yeah, we are tending to establish some sort of production where we'll be conducting the processes and not doing it with our not very experienced hands. Before the war, I never soldered anything. Now I can solder something, but when I solder, I pretty sure I know that the quality of the job that I'm performing, as well as the speed of the job that I'm performing, is far from being perfect. So probably we came to conclusions that to provide our guys with stable amount, and as well to probably to grow the amounts, and to I don't know, to customize somehow the product, to adapt it to new challenges, to perform research and development functions. Probably it should all gain some kind of a commercial structure, because we have to pay the workers, and so etc, etc. Currently we are in search of investments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the investments, like Losha, you told me in the just beginning of this interview that PayPal just froze your organization account with 4,000 euros gathered for the charity charity donate. 4,000 euros of charity donations are frozen on PayPal. Maybe you can talk more about difficulties you sometimes meet when you are working as a volunteer for for drones building, and I don't know, buying parts of drones. What are the challenges and difficulties that you meet sometimes there?
Yeah, well, with PayPal account, it's a separate thing. It's about our humanitarian fundraiser. Yeah, and the challenges mainly are buying parts of drones cheap and like trying to avoid like taxation because here when you order basically all the parts are from China. We have some Ukrainian manufacturers that are starting to develop, and you can buy some parts made in Ukraine.
To be a Ukrainian manufacturer, in fact.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But many parts are ordered from China, and when you order, you basically have a limit of 150 euros per day for goods that come through the border, and it's a tricky process to to order for different people, to order for some amount. To avoid this taxation, because taxes will go also for a war, but that will make like your drones like 25-30% more expensive, and we are limited on a budget from what we are fundraised and gathered. That's the challenge. Also, the challenge is we started as two people who became interested in this idea of building drones for soldiers that we support, and then we somehow grew. More people engaged from our collective and from outside. People came and said that okay, we are also interested in learning. We also want to build drones, and we right now we have four volunteers from outside our collective that come and help us with the work. But also there is sometimes there is a problem that people come, they somehow engage, and then like you spend time to teach, and then people like go away, or I understand people have their lives and different problems, whatever. It's not that I'm saying they are bad. It's that it's just a challenge that we have.
For person to stay in this kind of person to stay in this kind of activity for a long time, it can be challenging.
Yeah, that's probably what I meant when I said that you can't rely on someone who is capable of doing something only in his free time. Like you have to rely on someone who is like somehow materially, like financially motivated, like who sees this as a job, or who sees this like a mean of his income.
Yeah, I think that right now a lot of when you create a fundraiser, you always have a PayPal, and from my notice, no shade, but almost all the money that are coming for the fundraisers that I did myself are coming from Ukrainians, for about maybe 30 euro for like last year came from Europe for the fundraisers I had. Okay, maybe 50, but it's maybe it's like from 50 to 65, but less than 100, because as I understand, like I have a small part of people who are watching my stories, and I know them from my trips, and we met like in real life, and they see, and a lot of times they say like, oh, I want to support the stuff you do, but I'm like, yeah, I have a PayPal, you can send me money there if you want to, because like I don't have Venmo or anything else. But I think a lot of times when like some of my Ukrainian friends, they don't have Ukrainian card, they PayPal me like half of the 65 euros was from Ukrainians as well. No shade, guys, no shade though. It's like, I think that there is an issue. However, when Clemens, who was here previously, he almost raised all of the money that he were like from the fundraisers, from his friends and from the people from the outside of Ukraine. And I think there is like this kind of a thing with I don't know, with communication, with ways to like for people from how. What do you think about what are the ways for people from outside of Ukraine? Because we have Monobank, our own Ukrainian bank, and also right now you can do this like fundraisers almost in every Ukrainian bank. But how to what do you think you can do as a foreigner if you want to interact in this, engage in this kind of fundraisers and help Ukrainians to defeat Russians? Like, what would be your advice? Like, what platforms to use or how you can do it?
My personal, yes, like I mostly agree with you. Like I am working in an IT company where the half of the staff are Americans, and like I'm constantly doing my fundraising. And at some certain moment, I even stopped announcing it to my American colleagues because they like it makes no sense at all to share this fact with them. Like even there was a situation when the husband of my colleague he was severely wounded. Like he is a soldier who was who received a severe wound at Rabotina, and
On the eastern part of Ukraine.
it's southern. Like
I'm great with everything
Yeah.
today. Like this interview
Okay.
goes
Yes.
great.
Yeah, and I made the crowdfunding to help them with some medical expenses, and as with all, I thought that this time my American colleagues will
No
be
weapon, like-
involved, but once again I only received like $100 from them, while from my Ukrainian colleagues I managed to collect 200,000. Like proportion is very different. Yeah, but there were like good good moments when I somehow achieved the attention of reached the attention of Americans and Europeans. Like once it was when our small crew with whom we assemble the drones, we were asked, like one of the guys from our crew, he is from advertising sphere, like he's a strategist. I don't know how do I put it in English. Okay, and his friend of him asked if the journalist from United 24 can film us assembling the drones. Yeah, and we agreed. They made the video and they put the link to the PayPal and they put the link to the different site. I forgot to tell about. Yeah, I will tell about it now. And this one video, this one attempt, like we spent, I don't know, like 2 hours or something, then waited for 2 weeks to video to be dropped. It gave us about like 7 or 8 thousand euros altogether. Yeah.
So there are people. So maybe it's the problem is that your auditory is not like people who are surround you in your like circles.
Like
So
I
you-
was telling this week to my crew, so probably we need to start searching. Probably we need to become more, I don't know,
socially.
more more inventful. I don't know how, more creative with searching the proper platforms of the people who are ready to invest in this scene. Like probably we need to go to some American, I don't know, radical forums, like where the I don't know radical Republicans of.
It's not always radical. It's like some people. It's also, for example, a lot of my friends who moved in, like girls. Like some of my friends, girls, they moved to Berlin in there when the full-scale invasion happened, and they said that they found comfort in the Eastern European people, Eastern like people from the east, like from people from Afghanistan, from Syria. These were the people who were comforting them because they were hit by the same bombs. So it's not only Americans. Sometimes it's just like people who had this same trauma, but that's the main issue. Like if you it's like really hard for Ukrainians to find fundraising from the outside, but there is definitely an auditory who is willing to pay and help, and that's the main issue, how to find them. But maybe from the, if you could do a good video, for example, and put it on, like, I don't know, on OnlyFans, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it should be some kind of OnlyFans, like
no, I'm working. It's my work.
previous work experience.
No, I just thought about maybe like put like this advertisements on Instagram or like Facebook. You know, you just create a good media, and then you put it there.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, I think like we're still capable of finding good, solid investments from the Western countries, but we need to reach the proper auditory. I think like there are people who we can easily persuade to give us some money, but we still have to find them.
But Kyiv is so good with media because a lot of like productions who were doing like videos for Dua Lipa and stuff like that, they were like
but I don't think that the listeners of Dua Lipa are our main audience. I think like maybe it should be some kind of people who are not so easy to address with the common with the media that we are used to. Like probably it could be some kind of 50, 60 plus guys who I don't know, who had that red alert from the past, who were afraid of communism and so on, and now we can like explain to them that this kind of threat is growing once again, and please be aware of like another raise of
this is one portrait of your target audience, but I think the best way is to ask United 24 what are their audience, like, because they definitely know their audience. And if since it was like, because I have another story from United 24, they were doing, like, one of my friends, he was doing this story about Kaifariki, and then they raised a lot of money as well because there was their PayPal. So I think that if you would talk to the guys from United 24, understand who are their auditory, you will definitely know who are your auditory as well. Because people who follow in these news channels are definitely people who are interested. So
yeah, probably. Yeah, United 24, it's like a media source, fast-growing media source, which addresses people from outside of Ukraine. So probably their audience is 100% involved in this conflict, and they are ready to act. They know who's the true evil and so on. Yeah, but I think like I'm still thinking about finding like some kind of new source that wasn't still touched but by anyone, and later draining its resources.
Media grail. Everybody's searching for that. Yeah, okay, maybe you can talk about the sources where you were, talk more about the platforms. Maybe, Ksenia, you have something. I'm sorry, we don't forget about you. We know that you are with us, but we have like this kind of separation because like you are doing like a research. Maybe you have something to add up to the stuff that guys were talking about.
I'm not sure. Like, I can actually like elaborate on some things which were kind of interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to interrupt this kind of brainstorm.
No. It's just it's interesting to listen to your point as a mathematician, like as a person who works with like theory, it's also it's also good to know another side. So maybe you have something to add to us as well.
Okay, like regarding the fundraisers, I just like when you were talking about, like, I'm also kind of feeling very, I don't know, desperate. I think that I see that people are not donating actually. But yeah, I've noticed, for instance, that's a story from my supervision experience, that when one of my supervisors mentioned to another that Timothy Snyder was one of the people who was involved into the fundraiser of like related, I think, also to the use of electronic warfare, some electronic warfare system or something like this. He joined United 24 for this, I guess. After this, one of my supervisors was like, "Oh wow, if even Timothy Snyder is there, then probably I should also support," or something like this. So I guess maybe like, yeah, different
If you
influence or
attract like somebody, a well-known figure who has a good like reputation or something, like an interesting, because Timothy Snyder is very interesting, also helpful for even Ukrainians to know more about Ukrainian history. So sorry for interruption.
No, that was probably it. But also regarding what you were saying about the electronic warfare, I think that I've also seen a lot that people are talking right now, like those who are actually like involved also into the like development of different, I don't know, softwares and hardwares for drones, that they're saying a lot right now, that also in terms of that crisis of hypervisibility I was mentioning, that even electronic warfare is not capable of preventing drones from targeting. And this is important for our side as well, because Russian electronic warfare system is extremely strong and powerful, that right now there is another tool to kind of fight this back, and this is the machine vision which they're using and kind of incorporating it into the drone, so that after the signal is cut, the drone is still capable of reaching the target. And I think that's also quite important, because right now also like those FPV drones operators who could be like stopped from targeting something using their drone because of this electronic warfare, they're still like capable of seeing without even seeing anything on their screen. The drone still kind of reaches the target. Yeah, maybe that's like the small inputs I could add.
Thank you.
So
This is a
personally.
very good input. Yes, I feel myself like on the podcast, a little bit drone podcast.
Yeah, and as for the machine vision, I wanted to add, like, when we switched our mindset to more like commercial approach to the product, like we found ourselves in the situation where we can find someone with bigger money than we have to invest in our production. Yeah, and at this point, it's a bit tricky since there are already a lot of firms of different size. Someone produce like 100 drones per month, someone's produce 1,000 drones per month. Yeah, and the guys who have money, like, they start to think about it as some kind of investment, the business, yeah, and they are thinking about like what your product can bring to the market. Like the market is already not fulfilled with the product, but it's like tending to in the direction. And when I'm thinking about it,
There is no money, not enough money to buy all of the drones that we can produce right now.
yeah. When I'm thinking about the situation, it somehow reminds me of COVID situation, when you remember there was at some point a deficiency of masks and sanitizer and so on, and every small I don't know production switched to make masks, and like in few months there was so many masks that I don't know, like in my house there are still I don't know like packs of masks and bottles with sanitizing liquids. So I think that people who have some certain amount of money, not the extremely rich person, but people who have some certain amount of money and who are thinking about investing into something, they like trying to be I don't know wise or something, and thinking like
Cautious, like they are afraid that
cautious,
this
like,
this is a bubble.
if I put my money here, it will make no change because guys are doing something that everyone is already doing. So they starting to ask like, what your product, how different it will be. What is the uniqueness? What is the value of your product? How what new it will bring to the game? And all those artificial intelligence things, like everybody's cautious about artificial intelligence. They start to ask you like, will it use this technology, and so on. So at this point, it becomes like tricky because you really have to think about something new, like how the previous speaker says, like when you lose the connection between the controller and the FPV, now it can autonomously find the target and hit it. And this make it less vulnerable towards the electronic warfare systems. So from the other point, probably you can somehow develop your electronic warfare that it will jam the drone even in this situation. So it's like a constant race between the shield and the sword, may I say it. It to involve some really significant amount of money, you have to be creative and
also if you are like if it's become like a business field, it's also become competitive because like people want to present a product which is unique, which gonna gain more. Like I know it's hard to talk about it in this way, but it's also working like this because when you understand how to do something and you know that you can like do it better, like you can create a way to do it more efficient with like cheaper stuff, like I don't know, cheaper resources, or you can make it more precise, or you can like add some new function. If it would be a business field, maybe this field would be more competitive.
It's like that. And like here in Ukraine, we like, due to our higher level of I don't know freedom, we have this kind of competition between different producers and so on. While in Russia, they, as I heard, like they have this all more centralized, which affects the product in a negative way. Like, for example, the some kind of production facility wins the tender in a corrupt way, and they start to produce the drones, and they all uses the same frequencies that made them extremely vulnerable towards electronic warfare. While in our country, there are dozens,
like
lots of small groups, enthusiasts of different level of skills, which made every portion, every part, I don't know, every party of the drones some kind unique and less vulnerable towards those electronic warfare.
So
Well, our fighters are saying that Russians are faster in changing the frequencies, and we are all like we are one step behind. We are all trying to catch up. So maybe sometimes it's this corrupt system for them. It's a problem, but also they have shit ton of resources, and the guy just
they
said,
have much
okay,
more resources.
send fuckload of resources here, and yeah, it's decided, it's done. And we have to, like, manufacturers have to invest in production facilities, in teaching the staff, in buying components. And who's gonna buy the product? Like who's the buyer? Like country like Ministry of Defense. They are buying, but they are not buying that much. And a lot of drones are bought by NGOs or foundations or just volunteers.
I think like most of the drones are bought by NGOs. Like
And
probably in April or something, it was the first months, if I'm not mistaken, when like a small amount of FPVs were funded by government, not by NGOs.
Well, there is this army of drones, also from United 24. They were buying them earlier. But yeah, government is not, I think, refused to see this.
The importance.
Yeah, and we started to use this technology first. Russian, they were like one step behind, like at the beginning, and then yeah, we were, I think, little bit too slow in in somehow scaling this. Yeah, and about I wanted to add to this computer vision stuff and AI controlled drones. Yeah, for me it seems scary as fuck, and like maybe it's one of technologies that will that will change a lot, because if you just imagine a drone that can detect a target and then just fly to the target and that doesn't care about jamming and electronic warfare. And okay, and then you can imagine you have not one drone, you can have like 2, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 100 drones that can do that at the same time. Yeah, that shit is scary. And maybe who's first and like developing it, scaling it, will have a great advantage. But on other hand, I think like in a FPV community, this talks about machine vision and AI controlled drones. It's not a like new thing. We are talking about it for a year maybe. And there are some prototypes, like you can find the examples of use, but they are not widespread. And I don't know. I don't know why they are not so widespread. Maybe it's because they are much more expensive, or maybe it's just a question of time, where technology just needs time to evolve. Yeah. And FPV drones, they are, as you said, they become a big thing, like in the spring of 2023. But we used, like Ukrainian army used FPV drones first examples of it was in ATO in I think 2017. There was first example of FPV drone with a bomb hitting a house. Yeah, and the technology had to evolve, but basically it was a hobby technology. It evolved not for military purposes. It just hobbyists in Europe, in America, they were like flying this. Yeah, and and he and we are here just implement it in 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 a much more violent way.
Okay, I think that we are talking for an hour again, and that's great that we can talk a lot. Like this is great. I have two questions that I would like to ask. Maybe as you, Sasha, a pro fundraiser gatherer, maybe you have some pro tips for people who want to gather money for the drones or
Like-
some FPVs or like some other stuff.
Okay, like yeah, like in my previous life and sometime like yeah, mostly in my previous life, like I was some type of party organizer, like events promoter, something like this, and as I see, I'm using that mindset and the abilities that I gained at that period of time nowadays. Like I'm trying to make some sort of entertaining content, some using some I don't know, some fresh memes and so on, like to engage probably positive emotions of people. Like I'm not a big fan of engage in negative emotions of people. Like I saw some tips that you should address, I don't know, like pity, sorrow, aggression, or something like this, and it will like it will create some call to act of the audience. But like I'm trying to be sincere, and I'm not good at manipulating with that bad type of emotions.
Bad
while
vibes.
bad vibes, yeah. While I'm I don't know, I'm pretty confident with using the good vibes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm I don't know, like when I'm doing some kind of picture that will that I will use for my crowdfunding, yeah, I'm thinking about is a party poster, and I'm thinking like, will a person go to this party? Will like he tell
Yeah,
about it
that's
to his friends and so on?
That's actually true, because sometimes when you see these combos beers, like combo gatherings, you think that I want to be part of this team who are gathering for this, because they're like you had this like
It's a cool team.
you had
and I
yeah,
want
it's
to be
a
a
cool
part of
hit.
it.
Yeah, you had this hit with Lord of the Rings where you could choose
Yeah, but
like
probably my most successful crowdfunding was when I was doing Heroes of Might and Magic campaign.
Yeah, I
it was
participated in that as well.
Probably your first time.
Yeah,
when
my
you,
first beer.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it, probably. And like apart from using this party promoter approach, I'm also thinking about like. About it as a real campaign. Like if I'm promoting some kind of business, like I'm thinking about what, I don't know, opinion leaders can I involve. I'm thinking about who can make a major financial impact. Like I'm writing to some, I don't know,
Dudes with money.
guys with money, yes, who gave me some significant amount of money previous. Like sometimes I'm making some kind of list of steps that I should perform. Like at this particular moment, I will
Like business plan.
yeah, like business plan,
But for the donation gathering.
yeah. And I don't know why, but some I don't know, somehow I decided not to use widely the pictures or the videos of militants asking for something like
Yeah, it just
addressing
yeah, because it doesn't work that way. You
yeah,
see them and a lot of people skip
this
it.
kind of thing, it doesn't work this way, because even when the guys are asking like in a polite way or something, for me probably it triggers some kind of
Fault.
how they
Okay, it's my personal.
I feel like I should be at their place or something like I feel like I'm guilty for something
Yeah,
or
guilt.
something like this. So and guilt is probably not not the most engaging emotion.
Yeah, my additional tip is not to use sexy photos for your for your gatherings because it doesn't work that way. Once I did it because my friend advised me, and it didn't work that way. But I managed to gather all the like money I needed, but it was hard.
Yeah, and I was like, while coming here, I was thinking about all my friends' crowdfunding attempts and so on, and I can't remember any unsuccessful crowdfunding. Like everybody comes to the aim, to the gain, like they
Yeah.
collect the money. The thing is the speed with which they collect the money. So yeah.
Yeah, you just need to engage with your auditory, because sometimes if you just put this like post and like this link in your bio and then forget about it, it doesn't work that way. You need to pay attention. You need to grab attention with memes, with some kind of like videos, with some TikToks, whatever your like media is like. But still, you need to, I don't know, remind people of what you're doing.
Yeah,
Maybe
and also,
Losh-
like as I said, probably like we are all doing this in Instagram, and nowadays, if you come to the Instagram and if you start clicking the stories, everybody has a crowdfunding. Like it's like I don't know, like I can't remember. Probably in the August of 2023, I was counting how many guys have beers in their attached to their profile and so on, and it was like, I don't know, every fifth one, and probably nowadays it's every second one. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that we should probably think about
New way.
new way of
Yeah.
getting the money. That's why I'm like thinking heavily about how can I get some money from Western guys, because
Which platform to use? Yeah.
which platform to use, or probably like maybe it won't be a platform, but like I'm thinking about forums, some kind of specific forums, like for ex-militants or something like this, or maybe
Pornhub.
those hobby related forums about
Yeah.
the FPVs, like
Yeah, sure.
maybe some of them are ready, like because like for people who are not involved in war directly, it could be a hard moral decision to start to fund something, some kind of device that will actually kill human being.
Yeah, if you're not Ukrainian, it's hard to donate money.
Yeah. That's why, like, when you were talking
Russians.
with Westerners, you probably need to like bring the attention to the defensive part of the question. Like, it will help us to defend our people, and not like it will help us to kill the people.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe, Losha, you have some tips as well?
No, not really. Not really. Like it was. I just learned. I collected experience. Yeah.
Sasha can be a good guide through it. He guided. I once asked him about I want to do a big donation gathering. He just gave me pro tips. That's why now I'm asking publicly for this knowledge to be shared with everybody who needs it.
Yeah, and maybe I can share about this question of getting money from Westerners.
We have Clemens here. Maybe he
How our collective does it? We have a person who travels around Europe and goes to some events and meetings and stuff that are somehow related to Ukraine, and does a talk and then sells merch and collects money. It's the own, like basically it's 95% of all the money that we get from donations from Europe. It's that way.
Because it's like merch is something like buying merch. It's like you're buying clothes. You don't think that way, that you are buying like the small part and killing Russians. You just buy merch like T-shirts, or a bag or socks, something. But yeah, merch is really good idea as well. And there are a lot of friends in Europe, in England, in USA. I think that like shipping there is, yeah, and also a lot of like this like spilkas and stuff like, around. Okay, maybe you can share like the last question we have here. Like maybe you can talk where your organizations can be found, or like how it's easy to gather like donate money to your organizations. Like talk more about the most important part.
Yeah, Solidarity Collectives on Instagram. Solidarity Collectives. Yeah, on Instagram or in Telegram also. There is a link in bio or in a pin message in Telegram. We always have a fundraiser, a big one, and also we have like general purpose like account for donations for general purpose.
And as for me, I will probably provide with the link that will be attached below the video. Yeah, at the very beginning of the war, I get acquainted with the guy whose name is James Hodson and who represents the organization AI for Good, like artificial intelligence for good. Yeah, and I was like helping him to establish the network of his organization here, and later like I came with some questions to him, and on his site like he has a registered charity organization, American, with all the needed licenses, like gives some taxation benefits to the citizens who donate to them. Yeah, and like I have the access to their website, and I can like create my campaigns on their website, and like I have the page for for my organization on the website.
But what about Instagram?
Yeah, I have like.
Are you for good in Instagram? Like,
I don't know.
or
I collect it personally. Like my Instagram is.
Yeah, there is PopGap on
Yeah,
Instagram.
PopGap on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like POP.GAPON.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
it's
have dyslexia.
my personal Instagram where I collect money and share photos of my dog and cats. Yes.
They are great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Maybe Ksenia, you have something to adapt to us. We don't forget about you, never. It's still part of our discussion. Sorry. Yeah. So maybe you have something to adapt. Oh no, there is no. Do you say something because like no sound? Oh, Vlad, we don't have sound. Sorry, Ksenia, just a second. There is no sound. Just Vlad is gonna find. Like Ksenia is talking and we can't hear her. Just a second. Yeah. We can talk a little bit more because there is still a musical performance of Ihar Horin, who is going to be like Diablo with the Christ, with his project.
I wanted to say like it's not about the drones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come back.
Okay, Ksenia, do you have something to adapt for?
Yeah, actually I wasn't saying anything. I was just saying thank you guys for doing what you're doing. It's super important, but yeah, I wasn't adding anything.
Thank you for your research as well.
And thank you for your patience. Because mostly we've been talking and you've been listening. Yeah, and I wanted to add to the musical part of the question, like a few years ago, like during the COVID situation, like there was like some kind of series of articles about the, I don't know, like weird types of music on the Village magazine, and they asked me to tell them about the drone. Yeah.
So what did you tell, or you just wanted to say that?
Yeah, like I told them about the drone music. Yeah, it's about the roots, some I don't know, prominent artists, some I don't know, musical recommendations that they should post. It was some type of promotion of YouTube music platform.
Yeah, but it's weird that Village here found like why drone like.
It was not only about drones. They asked us collectors, music collectors, about some other genres, like small genres, and I had to talk about drone.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, thank you everyone. Now we're gonna have a 10 minutes break and then Ihar Korin gonna present his musical performance with drones, and it's like Christ with Diablo, his personal project, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's so what is the name of the project that he will be presenting in this music? Oh, it's both of you. Oh, because like before they fear, I thought that because I thought that it's gonna be on. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's gonna be Clemens and Ihar gonna be performing both of them. I'm sorry for this information, but anyway, yes, in 10 minutes they're gonna be Ministry of Digital Transformation. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. And they're gonna perform very soon. Thank you so much for everything. Bye. Дякую. Yay.